Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel! If you're new here, my name is Madita and today I'm going to be showing you all the books I am planning, emphasis on planning, to read in November. I think I have 15 books on my TBR this month. I think that's all I have to say, and I can just show you all the books I'm planning to read. The first book I'm reading this month is Stalking Jack the Ripper, and this is a murder mystery romance story. I've read 80 pages of this book so far, and it's interesting and I'm intrigued, but I'm slightly terrified that I already know who the killer is. But this book is basically about Audrey, who works at the morgue with her uncle. Scary, I know, I could never. Imagine having to dissect dead bodies and find out why they died. No. She and her uncle obviously look at the victims of Jack the Ripper too, and she starts to go on this search to find out who Jack the Ripper is and wants to find the killer of all these women. Over the course of the book, she meets Thomas, and both of them then decide to team up and want to find out who Jack is. Sounds very interesting. I want to feel adventure, tension, and fear while reading this book, and I'm hoping I will. Depending on how much I like this book, I will read the sequels too. I hate the cover though, so... The next book I'm planning to read is probably one of my most anticipated reads for this month, and that is Once Upon a Broken Heart. This is the spin-off series to the Caraval trilogy, which I absolutely adore and love. So this book is about Evangeline and Jax, aka the Prince of Hearts and Immortal. Evangeline is a person that believes in true love. Her heart gets broken when the one she loves gets married to a different person, and to stop the marriage from happening, she makes a deal with the Prince of Hearts, aka Jax. Do you see where I'm going here? It's giving forced proximity, am I right? Jax asks in return for his help for 3 kisses. But after, something changes because Evangeline realizes, is this actually Jax helping me? Or does he have an ulterior motive? Turns out he does. We're gonna find out in this book what Jax's ulterior motive is and why he actually made the deal with her. And I wonder if we're gonna have some betrayal, maybe some broken hearts, because Once Upon a Broken Heart, hit the title. Then I'm planning to read the 2 last books I own by Monica Murphy, and that is Things I Wanted to Say But Never Did and A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime. So Things I Wanted to Say But Never Did is about Whit Lancaster and a girl whose name is not mentioned on here, so that already tells me how relevant she is. Summer, and basically Whit Lancaster is the alpha at his school. It's his domain. He rules the school. He's the king of the school and whatever. And then there's Summer, new at the school, and she has her secrets, right? But then one night he comes to her rescue. We don't know why, but he ends up broken and hurt. Instead of leaving him like she should have, she takes him to her room and heals him. #healing trope. And then afterwards, they strike a deal because Whit, for some fucking reason, steals her journal and now knows all her secrets. And she has some big secrets. I don't know what they are, but I'm excited for the Legust moments. And now they have a deal, and he can do everything he wants to her behind closed doors. And Whit is also the type of guy, in my head at least already, who would yell at you, "You're mine!" And he would growl, probably. A lot. And maybe bark at other men. And then obviously we have A Million Kisses in a Lifetime, and this plays in the same universe. And this is about Ren and Crew. Ren is many things. Beautiful, smart, sweet, and innocent. Then we have Crew, and he's gonna crush her world. So basically, Ren is the it girl of the school. She's the cool girl. Everybody wants to be her. And somehow this guy Crew knows that she's a virgin. At one point, they have to work together for a project. #forced proximity, #teamwork, dreamwork. And he starts falling for her, and he wants her to fall in love with him. Okay, we're gonna see what happens. I'm guessing we're gonna have maybe some drama, and I love drama. I'm hoping I like this. But yeah, excited to film a reading vlog with these books, and let's make a prediction. Do you think I will like these books or hate these books? Then I'm planning to read Anatomy, which is a romance in Edinburgh in 1817 with gothic themes. Sounds fucking amazing. Also, the covers are super cool. It's a girl and her dress is like a heart. Artiste, okay? Art. So this book is about Hazel and Jack. Hazel is a lady. She's fancy, but she wants to be a doctor because she wants to heal people. She wants to be a savior. And then we have Jack, who's running for his life. People are trying to kill him. We don't know why, but I'm excited and scared. And they team up and try to save each other. At the same time, we have this mystery plotline because there's this giant illness that is killing everybody. And they're trying to figure out what the fuck that is and solve the mystery of Edinburgh. I am super excited for the shocked moments because I'm gonna be shooketh when I find out what that illness is. And also, she's a ginger. I love gingers, so Then I'm planning to read the sequel to Skin of the Sea, which is called Soul of the Deep. Look at her golden tail. She is literally a bejeweled girl. Again, this is a sequel, so I can't say a lot about this. This is a mermaid story that is very much Ariel and the Little Mermaid, but cooler, with more magic, with more gold, with more characters, with found family trope almost. And I'm just super excited to see how the sequel goes, because the cliffhanger of the end of the first book, don't even talk to me. That was too much for me to handle. The back though says, one life, one choice, one sacrifice. I am excited, but I fear that somebody might die. And if somebody dies, I'm gonna cry. Do I want to cry? Not really. I just want to see if Simi will break her vows and get out of the water and save her friends. Then I'm planning to read this spooky, scary book that's called Gallant by V.E. Schwab. And I mean the cover? And this is about Olivia, who doesn't have a mom, doesn't have a dad, and doesn't have a voice. Her only friends are the ghosts. But then basically one day her uncle that she doesn't know calls her up and says, please come to my house. Dead. Le gasp, what the fuck happened? And now she's trying to find out why her uncle is dead and why her cousin Matthew is there. And she finds out that there are a lot of ghosts in that house and a lot of mystery, a lot of magic, a lot of scary things. I also have opened this book quite a lot of times because there's a lot of art in here. Look at this. This sounds like a really good book to read in the middle of the night, so I can get really scared. Then I'm planning to read A Deadly Education. This book is a very much Dark Academia type story with a school mystery and magic. Basically, this school is super creepy and scary because there are no rules, no teachers, and no friends. Because the only friends you have are fake as fuck and trying to use you to survive, because there's two things you can do with this school: die or graduate. And this book is about Elle, who has this really secretive, very powerful power that could basically kill everybody. Since she knows how powerful her power is, she doesn't want to use it because she doesn't want to kill innocent students, but she knows that her power could kill all the monsters at the school because there's apparently monsters. But then at one point, it says on the back here that Elle has no other choice than to use her powers. It's a trilogy, so if I like this book, I will read the other books too. If not, then not. Then I'm finally planning to read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So this book is about Pippa, who's trying to solve a case that was closed 5 years ago. Basically, 5 years ago, Andy Bell was killed, and everybody thinks that she was killed by her boyfriend, Sal Singh, except her, because she knows Sal. She decides to open up the case again and find out who actually killed Andy Bell. And the aesthetic videos about this book? I shall read this because they are so good. I just want to have my brain tingle and think about why somebody killed them. I hope I can predict a few things, but I also hope I have a few Legust moments. Then I'm planning to read A Sorcery of Thorns. Why? Because the cover is just so cool. I mean, she's holding a sword. Is she gonna slay? This book is about Elizabeth, who has been taught that all sorcerers are evil. And she knows all this because she works at a library, and she grew up in that library, and she grew up surrounded by the magical grimoires. Those are apparently monsters. We don't know what monsters, but they're really fucking scary apparently. But one of them escapes. And everybody then thinks that Elizabeth did it. Don't know why. Why is everybody blaming Elizabeth? So Elizabeth is then like, what the fuck? I didn't do this. Why is everybody accusing me of releasing a grimoire? So to save herself, she decides to team up with her arch enemy. And that is Nathaniel Thorne, and he is a sorcerer, aka the person she should never be with because he's evil, because sorcerers are evil and bad. And then they both find themselves entangled in this giant century-old conspiracy, and they don't know how to get out of it. There is a map, which is always very exciting, looks like this. I love fantasy, and this sounds like a great fantasy book. Then I'm planning to read Bunny this month, which I'm scared of reading. So this book is about Samantha, who hates the bunnies. Basically, the bunnies are a group of elite girls at her university, and she doesn't like any of them. But then one day she gets an invitation to their elite smut-salon, and she's like, let me ditch my only friend Ava and join the smut-salon. But then she gets more and more involved in the bunnies' world, their experiments and everything else. And in the end, her friendships with Ava and the bunnies will be brought into a deadly collision. Deadly? Who the fuck's gonna die? Hopefully not Ava. I want to see what happens to Ava. I want to see how Samantha gets corrupted in this corrupt world. I am afraid. Then I'm planning to finish Horrid. I started Horrid a few days ago, and I'm already in love with this book. Let me just read to you the first line of the story so you kind of understand why. She couldn't remember the first book she had eaten, what it had tasted like, how it had felt, the scratch of it as it slid down her throat. She eats books. I'm so excited to read this. Basically, this book is about Jane, who moves to Maine after her father dies, and she moves into her mother's childhood home, and that's like a creepy haunted house. But over the course of the book, mysterious things happen in the house. She hears voices, she sees things happening, she sees shadows and lights, and she's like, what the fuck is happening? But nobody is telling her anything, so she has to find out herself. So many mysteries, so many secrets, so many scary scenes. And the sentence here, when she was good, she was very, very good. When she was bad, she was horrid. This is amazing so far. I'm so excited to finish this book. Then I'm planning to read this psychological thriller called The Death of Jane Lawrence. This book is about Jane, who is trying to find a husband that can make her live a comfortable life. And her first option is the doctor called Augustine Lawrence. And he agrees to her proposal, but his only rule for her is that she should never ever visit Lindridge Hall, which is his family manor outside of the city. Yet she visits it. And the doctor that she was planning on marrying is super confusing and weird in that house. And he doesn't think that Jane is real. So we have a lot of really creepy scenes where we don't know what is reality and what is fake. And over the course of the book, we find out what's actually happening in that house. And it says on the back here that it's a tale of creeping terror, both psychological and supernatural, with a masterful third act twist. Third act twist? Am I going to have the biggest gasp moment of my life? Because it feels like I am. I'm probably gonna drop the book and be like, oh my gosh, my life is changed. Is the earth flat? I'm excited to be fully shocked. This just sounds fucking amazing. Then I'm planning to read The Binding by Bridget Collins. So this book is about Emmett, who is an apprentice to a bookbinder. But basically, he binds books about people's memories, bad or good. Whenever they bind a book with memories, the person lets go of that memory. So basically, if you're in pain, you go to Emmett and you're like, hey, do you want to bind a book about my pain? And Emmett is like, sure, dude. And then he binds the pain into a book, and then your pain is gone, and the pain is stored in that book in the basement of the binder shop. And then one day when he goes down to see all the books, he finds a book with the name Emmett on it. What? I am Emmett. Emmett is me. Why is there a book about me? What pain was taken from me? What memory was taken from me? It's also supposed to be a rich gothic story that explores the power of books and storytelling. I mean, I love books and storytelling, so this book seems like it's written for me. So I'm very excited to read this. And then last but not least, I'm trying to finally read Lightlark. So this book is about this island called Lightlark, where every 100 years there is a deadly game between the rulers. Each of the 6 rulers has apparently a lot of secrets, a lot of mysteries, and a curse. And they're all trying to break the curse. But to break the curse, somebody has to die. And the main character called Ilsa, and the main character called Ilsa Crown must lie, cheat, and betray to win this game and not die. So I mean, the premise sounds really interesting. So I'm wondering how this will go. I'm excited, I'm intrigued, I'm terrified, and I will definitely be showing you all how I find this book in a reading vlog. Those are all the books I'm planning to read in November. I'm hoping I'll read them all. I don't know, but I really hope I do. If you have read any of these before, please tell me your opinion, because I am terrified, and let me know if you think I will like the book or not. Yeah, and this is also the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, you can give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of my content, you can subscribe. I hope you all have a great day, evening, nighttime, morning, whatever time zone you're in. I hope you're enjoying yourself. Go read a book. If you have any of these on your TBR, you should read some of these. Again, have a great day, happy reading, and see you next time. Bye!